Welcome back to Football Daily. It's lovely to have you, and it's also lovely to have Sam. You are here from Full Time Devils.
That's
you
true.
can subscribe to that channel.
You can if you go on it and press the subscribe button. Do it. Change your life.
And Squawka Dave.
Hi guys.
Find him on Twitter. He's lovely. Anyway, we're talking Liverpool, which is good, isn't it? They've made a lot of signings.
Yeah, they've bought Southampton.
Let's actually talk about all the signings that Liverpool have made.
Yep.
And then we'll talk about whether they're the new Spurs.
Yep.
Start with Ricky Lambert, Adam Lallana, Lovren.
Yep.
That is 3 consistent players last season for Southampton. 3 proven Premier League quality players who arguably, with a better manager who can motivate them, will do just as well.
What I think, if you like my opinion,
and I do,
about Liverpool, is that you had an incredible year last year.
Yeah.
Incredible. And you've obviously lost your best player in Luis Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
But to disrupt your squad so much, even if you needed a new centre-back and stuff, to change things about so much, I think it is now so unlikely you will achieve similar results. Mm-hmm. Purely because you've got a whole new team to bed in, and it's so like Tottenham with Gareth Bale, except it's worse because they weren't doing as well as you've been doing, in my opinion.
As well, yeah.
So,
but then Spurs did finish only 1 place lower and 3 points down on the previous season. So if Liverpool do that, then,
I think Suarez is one that you haven't replaced and you can't replace.
So what you shouldn't try to replace.
You should try and replace
him with the project.
Yeah, like you're saying, you should buy the young players. I think Ricky Lambert's a very strange one. He's quite old, coming to the end of his career.
Scouser. Is that really that weird?
I think it's very strange. You've got a player
on a football level.
Mm.
Liverpool do not have a player who can be physical like that for a reasonable price. You'd argue £4 million, and he can hold the ball up quite well. Arguably, he's very technically gifted.
Are Liverpool going to change their style? Is Ricky Lambert going to start every week? If so,
no.
Liverpool aren't going to hit the same heights as they did last season.
He won't start every week though.
Obviously, Dejan Lovren's a very good signing. Any club would £20 million is a lot of money, but you still count your pocket, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Sure. Doesn't it though? I mean, 20 million is a lot to pay for a player.
For a 25-year-old with limited experience in terms of the trophies that Liverpool are chasing,
yeah,
that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I suppose Southampton didn't want to sell him, so if you really wanted to buy him, you've got to pay the money.
Yeah, I suppose so. And there's limited choice in that area in that sense, isn't there?
Centre backs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who are actually available.
Yeah, as Manchester United fans, I am aware that there are not many.
I think that you don't want to go. Lovren was a strange one. 20 million for a player that was at Lyon, didn't play that well. Went to Southampton for quite an inflated price. Mm-hmm. Then he's gone to Liverpool for an even more inflated price after one season where he was good for half the year, made a few mistakes here and there. He's sort of another player that's going to make mistakes for Liverpool. And I don't think that that's the right centre-back that they need, in a way. I
would say that they're good players that Liverpool have bought, but I don't think you've bought Champions League quality players.
That is interesting.
Top level Premier League, but not, like you say, not Champions League.
So what about Markovic?
It's a strange one. Markovic, for me, he's got a lot of talent, but he didn't play a lot of minutes for Benfica last season. You've spent 25 million, is it, on someone?
20, I think.
20 million. That's someone that's not playing that much.
Good, isn't it?
Bebe was in Portugal last season playing for Pacos. He scored 11 goals in the league, the League Sagres. That's over double the amount Markovic scored. Markovic only scored 5 goals, so is Bebe better than Markovic? Is Bebe worth twice as good?
Worth 40 million.
Worth 40 million.
So where are Liverpool weak, and where do they need to improve?
They're in the transfer market.
Yeah.
Stop buying people from Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who should Liverpool be getting?
I'd say goalkeeper, massive problem for me. Mignolet made 5 errors last season that led to goals in the Premier League, so that was more than any other player in the Premier League. So that's 5 goals that Liverpool may have not conceded. They take those 5 goals off that, Liverpool would have won the league. Simon Mignolet potentially could have cost Liverpool the league with his mistakes. If you buy a goalkeeper, there's loads of goalkeepers on the market this season that have gone to, like Michel Vorm, could have been a good goalkeeper at Liverpool. Liverpool don't really see that area as an area of weakness. I personally do. I think if they want to push for the title again, they do need to get a new keeper in.
I also think, and it might upset a lot of Liverpool fans around the world, but Steven Gerrard needs to be put out to pasture.
Yeah, I think he is being put out to pasture this season.
Yeah. Like, obviously a great figure to have around.
When you say put out, he will still play a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, but I mean, you can't have
kill him.
No, I don't mean kill him.
Good.
I mean, he's had a terrible 3 months. Like, at the end of the season, he looked a broken man. He'd gone to the World Cup and he hasn't turned up in a single game. Like, he shouldn't have been playing then. Like, Rodgers should have seen that this is a man who's just had his dreams ripped from him, and in such an ironic, amusing fashion for everybody around him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say we can't let this slip, and then you literally slip to lose the title, that is funny. People will laugh at you for that.
Yeah.
But for him, that must be so painful.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as people think he is now that he's adapted his game.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, as he's got older, he's an exceptional
I'd
footballer.
completely go against that. I think that he was the pinnacle of Liverpool last season. Playing with 2 players around him helps him out so much. That was the problem at the World Cup. That you have 1 player holding next to him. You need lads to do his running for him, and he can't do that anymore. I think he still offers Liverpool a hell of a lot. I think he'll improve as a player. Paul Scholes is a classic example of a midfielder that's improved, that changes game multiple times. I think Gerrard does have that, and I think Gerrard will, improve again. I thought he was playing that sort of Pirlo role. Played really well. He got 13 assists in the league, 11 of them coming from set pieces.
So talking about the future for Liverpool, let's talk about whether they can break the top 4 again this season.
I don't think so. I think with the signings you've bought, it's almost like they've forgotten that they're in the Champions League because you haven't tried to attract that top level player. You haven't really been linked to those kind of players that you see Chelsea, like using Fabregas as an example. There's an excellent footballer who was available. You don't see Liverpool linking anywhere near it. And your Champions League team became second in the league. You were so close to winning the title. I'm not saying you need Fabregas, but those top level players you just don't seem to be after. And I think because of that, your league form will suffer.
Do you think there's a reason Liverpool are not after those top level players? Because clearly they have the money for it. They have spent a lot of money in this transfer.
Strangely, they lose 43 goals that Luis Suarez directly involved in with his assists and his goals. You've got a player on the market, Alex Sanchez, that is pretty much a Luis Suarez mould, that Liverpool, bid for, offered a contract to, but he went to Arsenal, stayed in London. Why you didn't try even harder to get that calibre of player? Yeah. That would have been for me. That would have been the man that you would have been in the top 4 this season. You probably would have done all right in the Champions League, but without a signing like that, I'm not too sure.
Some people are saying it's a strengthening in the majority for Liverpool.
What we're saying with Liverpool is that you're saying that the collective is more important than the individual, which is completely correct. But then you look at last season, it was the individual over the collective, arguably with Luis Suarez. So Liverpool do have to change that mentality. Like you're saying, they are strengthening in a lot of areas, making a lot of decent signings that could be decent, could not be decent. Young players, good transfer policy. But it's whether they can go that step further and have someone that's carried their team to now everyone has to score 10 goals.
The difficult thing now is they're also in the Champions League, and so basically United fans, Arsenal fans, everyone else who's in the Champions League is now rubbing their hands saying now you're going to fall because you've got all those extra games to play.
Well, you've got the players now, so like your squad is much bigger, so you've got the players to cope with those games. It's just whether the players are good enough to cope with the standard of opposition you're facing in the Champions League.
It's a big question for Brendan Rodgers this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is whether he's actually a good enough manager to manage in the Champions League.
I'd say that Liverpool are going to struggle they're going to get a really tough group. They're 4th seed because they've not been in Europe they've not been in the top European competition for so long. So the likes of Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund and Napoli could all be in their group together. So with Liverpool, that would be a tough group of death. But then potentially you could see Liverpool getting out of that. They could put the performances on your Tuesday nights, on your Wednesday nights, but then they will struggle in the league. I think there's a balance where they're either going to do well in the league or do well in the Champions League, and that will be it. Can't see them doing well in both.
Thank you for watching this Liverpool transfer review. Let us know who you think Liverpool should sign in the comments below.